Welcome to World War II Chronicles, a weekly tribute to America's fighting men and women in commemoration of the Second World War. These programs are narrated by Ed Herlihy and are based on the news broadcasts of the war period from the recorded sound collection of the National Archives in Washington, D.C.
Our forces on Bataan are in a serious crisis. A late Army communique reports that fresh Japanese troops are continuing their drive with great vigor.
On the 4th of April, 1942, the final assault on the Philippines was in full force. Following MacArthur's departure, General Jonathan Wainwright had been holding out on Bataan Peninsula with 24,000 soldiers. The lack of food plus sheer exhaustion were telling on their morale and ability to fight. Mary Lohr was a nurse on Bataan.
You can imagine conditions. As many men were dying of malaria as were dying of wounds. Bandages and gauze were so short that we washed out the old ones and used them on the newly wounded. Those boys were sick and half-starved. They'd been living on one meal a day.
On April 9th, the American resistance on Bataan collapsed under fierce Japanese attacks.
After 3 months of heroic defense against overwhelming odds, the last American position on the mainland of Luzon has been lost.
The numerically largest surrender in American history was signed the next day. 12,000 U.S. soldiers and 64,000 Filipinos, most of them civilians, were taken prisoner. Their suffering, however, was far from over. The end of American resistance marked the beginning of the Bataan Death March. In the course of a week, the starving survivors were forced to march without food or water to a prisoner-of-war camp 60 miles away. An estimated 5,000 Americans never made their destination. Although U.S. forces on the Philippine island of Luzon had been defeated, the fortress island of Corregidor remained in American hands.
And on that stout fortress in Manila Harbor, Americans continued to defy Japan. To President Roosevelt came a message from General Wainwright saying, "Our flag on this beleaguered island fortress still flies."
I'm Ed Herlihy. Join me next time for World War II Chronicles.
World War II Chronicles was produced by the American Veterans Center and Radio America in cooperation with the National Archives. To listen to more episodes, subscribe on iTunes or visit AmericanVeteransCenter.org. We need your help to keep the legacy of our World War II generation alive. Visit AmericanVeteransCenter.org to make a donation to support World War II Chronicles and the ongoing work of the American Veterans Center.